What up? Your boy is back. Apologies for missing out on Monday's show. I owe you guys one. We are smack dab in the middle of the dog days of summer where things tend to get kind of quiet, but leave it to Memphis Athletics to do something that's now got us talking. We'll get into some pretty big violations from the U of M with a frequent friend of the program, Gabe Kuhn, and then we'll talk one-on-one with Ryan Mitchell, who's upgrading his black and silver colors from the Houston Mustangs to the St. Louis Cardinals red and gold. It's Thursday, and the 24th floor starts right now. Thanks for tapping into the show today. We're going to start actually with Ryan Mitchell, who was drafted earlier this week to the second round of the St. Louis Cardinals. The Houston high school grad was Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year in 2025, a key cog on a very good Mustang squad. He sat down with me one-on-one yesterday to discuss his journey to this point and that moment of hearing his name called to the show.
All right, hanging out with Mr. Second round draft pick himself, Ryan Mitchell out of Houston High School, drafted in the second round, 55th overall to the St. Louis Cardinals. First and foremost, Ryan, what's the week been like for you, man? I can't imagine you've talked to this many media folks in 1 week, much less one day.
Right, man. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, man, just being myself, man. I'm excited to get it going. So it's really been a huge thing for me, just being able to see the Memphis be supportive of me. And so I'm ready, like I say, get it going and be a Cardinal.
Talk me through draft night, man. I know we know the MLB draft is kind of a 2-day affair. Talk me through hearing your name called. You were surrounded by a bunch of your friends and your family. Where were you guys at?
We were at Trophy Room. Shout out Trophy Room for letting us have that venue for that night. But it was good, man. I'm really just appreciative, just being able to see your work pay off at the draft. So that's the main thing. And then I would just also say my parents just taking a lot of sacrifices, friends, family, coaches, everyone who's trainers who's helped me get to this point in life. So I'm just thankful for them. It was great to see us all come together and celebrate this happy moment.
I mean, you obviously have been on this journey to this moment for a minute, right?
Yes.
When did you kind of realize, okay, this could potentially be a real thing for me getting drafted to the league?
I would say, man, probably around freshman year after committing to Georgia Tech for college, it was like, wow, like at the age, you don't really understand like what like level you are at until you like commit to a college to see like where you stand, even not even being the name of the school, just going to a school that's known for baseball and be a successful program. So after that, I was like, main thing was I'm not going to stop working just to commit to college because that's not my end goal in life. So that once I realized like, wow, I can really do this. It was more like, let's do it. Let's set the plan aside and get going.
At the same time, I know with baseball, it can be kind of that like, all right, I'm going to commit to a school. That could be a little wink, wink, nod, nod, trying to get to the league. Was there a number that you guys were kind of like, hey, this is what we kind of need to hit to say, hey, we're going to stay and go to the league versus, we might hold off and go to Tech?
No doubt. I mean, the number was $1 million after taxes, which we were blessed to get way over that. So that was the minimum, but just being able to perform and everything brought the number higher and higher. So we're good in a great position, just ready to get to work because it's just the beginning,
For sure. What kind of interest did you feel like you were getting? I mean, did you know it was going to be the Cardinals? Were they really obvious about it, or were somebody else kind of scaring folks off? Like, what was up?
Yeah, so it's really like a game inside the game, the whole draft process. So like some teams, like for example, the Padres, they're a team that like tried to show a lot of love, but didn't love me as much as they actually said they did, just to get other teams the fear of like wanting to draft me. And then you have other teams like the Cardinals who are really low key, who love you, but don't want other teams to know. So it's really a game inside of a game. So it's a really fun process. Sometimes you're just like, man, just give me drafted, let's go. So
for 2 hours,
it's fun. But the Cardinals were a team. I met with them in the fall around September, the area scout, just getting to know me as a player and getting to know them as an organization. So, and then at the combine a month ago, really just got to like connect. It was one of the only meetings I told my parents, like it was really chill, like just getting to know me. A lot of the meetings are trying to nitpick you, pick you down, bring down your value. So I would say that Cardinals was the only one that was chill, just getting to know me. So I felt like it was a great connection. Then obviously being in Memphis for AAA, it's a great atmosphere.
You obviously go into the draft hoping your name gets called. Certainly some guys have a better idea that they're going to get called than others. Did you have a pretty confident stance that, you were going to get picked up? Is there a kind of a range where you felt like, yeah, I'm almost definitely going to get picked between here and here?
Yeah, I mean, you have like those floors, like second round, late second round, whether you knew you were gonna, that's the least you're gonna be, and then you have as high as 29. But the draft, unlike is baseball, basketball, and football, the slotted value you're getting is straight from the picks. But baseball, those are you can get more or less from where you are. So like teams in the first round, some players care about the publicity of being first round. So that's different. So I didn't want to teams are trying to cut you low and short on the money just because being first round. So a lot of times the second round players get more money or about the same amount of money just because they're not willing to sacrifice their money for the name of first round. So I was blessed enough to just know what I wanted, know my value. Now, the first round thing didn't really bother me because at the same time, it's trying to get in the door and get to the big leagues as fast as possible. So I feel like I did what was best for me.
For sure. Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year. You obviously have a fantastic year at Houston High School. What was it like for Gatorade to recognize who you were and
It
your
was
talent?
amazing, man. Like waking up, like my phone was blowing up that day. I was like, what in the world is going on? And so I got the call and email that was Gatorade Player of the Year. I was Gatorade Player of the Year. So I mean, it's kind of good because I mean, we had Mr. Baseball finalists and I didn't win it. I mean, I didn't even win Mr. Baseball, but I got drafted. So who knows? It's all biased. And so I'm just blessed to got an award. Like awards are usually think of other people's opinion, but it's great to be recognized for those. So that was amazing. And then just being able to you get a grant to give to any nonprofit organization. So I gave to a nonprofit organization in Memphis to help players in poverty be great. So I'm really just happy I was able to help the city as well as get that recognition from Gatorade.
For sure. And when you talk about baseball, Memphis is certainly known as more of a basketball city. But
Yes.
I mean, I think we've seen over the last couple of years that it definitely is a place where basketball can thrive. You think about Brent Rooker in the All-Star game and what he was able to do, right?
Yeah.
An ECS grad for those who don't know that. What would you say Memphis or baseball in Memphis is like? And as a secondary question, I mean, you're a young black man who is playing a predominantly white sport. Like, what has that experience been like for you when I'm sure you got homeboys playing basketball and football in this
Right.
city?
So like growing up, I played basketball and baseball growing up. So I played the whole AAU circuit. So I feel like that was something that really shaped me to who I am today. Just seeing like the different aspects of Memphis and basketball and just all come together to win a championship. So I feel like that was the main thing. And it's a basketball city. So my main thing, like getting drafted, like I always want to have a Thanksgiving annual drive every year, a Christmas drive for the kids, an annual camp, and then eventually have a travel team called Lux Elite in a building so kids can practice and play baseball for free because it's a really expensive sport. So being able for me to give that ability to help kids out in Memphis and make it more of a baseball, more of an easier sport to play. So that's the main thing. And I would just say being black was definitely challenging when it comes to it's not the typical, but thankfully I had a coach at 12U, so we had an all black team. So it's kind of good to see players around you who playing baseball. So we was dominating, so it was fun like that to just have people all like you just playing the game. So I thought that was very important for me. And then I would just say, man, just kind of like baseball is a game where there's not much swag going on. They're trying to get more swag into the game. So me being able to show my personality is very huge for me. So I feel like it's a very opportunity for endorsements and other things for me to reach out with.
I definitely see the swag. You got
Yeah.
the double Cuban link on right now.
Yes,
You
sir.
got the dreads. I don't know what that brand of
No.
jacket is, but I'm sure it ain't Gap. We'll put it that
Yeah, but it's just good, man.
way.
Just to have a personality, man. Just show yourself and just show your love playing the game you love. So I feel like it's very important.
Is there anybody that kind of models that for you in the league already?
I would say Jazz Chisholm, man. Just being able to just be yourself, man. And plays for the Yankees, plays a lot of positions, playing shortstop, playing third base, playing center field. So I feel like that versatility for me is showing like what I can display at the next level as well. So I mean, he has nice cleats, colorful cleats, arm sleeves, had an endorsement with Jordan, so had the Jordan 4 wearing cleats. So I just feel like just being able to show himself is very huge for me.
There are a couple of players like that. I mean, I'm an Atlanta native myself. I root for the Braves personally, so I'm thinking of Ronald Acuna Jr. right with the super bright
Right.
arm sleeve, the bright cleats. I'm thinking of Mike Harris as well. How kind of important do you think that has become in for players, allowing you guys to express yourselves? It used to be just like the big gaudy chains now, but it seems like you guys do it in a lot of ways.
Yes, I feel that's important just for the baseball, especially for the viewers aspect. Like you want to see people who are showing personality and who can sell tickets. So that's my main thing. Just seeing players who can like just be free and be yourself. I mean, you see basketball, football, they're very good at impersonating themselves just to be themselves. So I feel like it's huge that baseball players like nowadays, like you have a lot of Atlanta players like CJ Abrams as well, who show their personality, just look people that resemble yourself and also just being themselves, man. It shouldn't be a game where you have to be so set in stone. You're playing a game you love, so why not have fun with it, you know?
100%, 100%. So, what's next for my guy? You got drafted by the Cardinals.
Yes, sir.
I kind of know how this thing goes. It sounds like you kind of got like rookie ball more or less
Yeah.
coming up next.
So you basically got so baseball season's going on right now. It's All-Star break, obviously. So they got half the season left. So when you sign, you go to the spring training facility out in there. Cardinals is in West Palm Beach, like an hour 30 from Miami, like South Florida. So go down there, physical, and then like officially sign like the media, all that good stuff. And so then we get down there. It's basically we have a month. I leave tomorrow and don't come back till September. So it's basically like summer league basketball right now. All the draft picks go and play against each other just to get acclimated into pro ball before starting the regular season. So I don't go back until after September. Don't go back for spring training until February. And then from there, based off how you do and where they want you to start at, and then you eventually try to get your climb to big as fast as possible and stick there.
All right, man. So we're gonna hope we get you jumping right into Double-A, and then we'll get you maybe over here to the Memphis
Right.
Redbirds, right? You know,
We'll
we'll
do it.
get you playing over there in AutoZone Park here soon.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
anybody anybody or any moment that felt like especially pivotal to you sticking with this dream and doing, pursuing baseball full time?
I would definitely say, man, honestly, the main people are my parents, man. Just be able to take those sacrifices, like being able to take you all these places to get recognized, being able to sacrifice time during the day to practice. So just being for them, being able to be there. Mom always made sure the mental health, nutrition aspect was always like good. Education came first. Like if you were on top of your grades, you were not playing sports. So if I went to Georgia Tech, I was playing, going to be a fall semester sophomore. So that's great. And then a lot of people don't know about baseball is when you get drafted, you're not taking away your college dream because they still pay for your education to go to college online. So like in the off season, I'll do like one class just to get my graduate for Georgia Tech. So that's the main thing. And I would just say my dad just being able to be flexible. Neither parents played baseball. So it was really huge for me to be able to have somebody who really was determined to learn with me, to learn how to play the game, and then have people around me who were able to have knowledge of the game and know what you need to do, what not to do. So I think it was huge for just people around me, just sacrificing for me to get to where I am today.
100%. You always gotta shout out the fam, shout out mom, shout out dad, because at the end of the day, they the ones who driving around in all them tournaments, right? Trying to get you where you gotta go.
Exactly. So they're happy now. They're empty nesters. My brother's in Arizona State. I'm in South Florida, and so they're looking to go to Europe, Italy. So they're excited when I leave tomorrow.
They're kicking you out here, man. They said mission accomplished.
Exactly.
Mission accomplished.
So I'm proud of them. They deserve that time. So I'm excited to get going, and they get to go out of town. So yeah,
for sure. I'm sure they're excited to watch you play some baseball. Hopefully in the big leagues sooner rather than later. As will we. Ryan Mitchell, the Houston high school grad that is now headed to the St. Louis Cardinals system, drafted in the second round, 55th overall. Ryan, congratulations, man. Appreciate you joining me.
Thank you, man. Thank you all for having me. Go Cardinals.
Appreciate Ryan for giving us so much of his time. Such a swaggy kid, kind of already. Another guy with some swag, Gabe Kuhn, host of the Gabe Kuhn Show on 92.9 ESPN. You can catch him 4 to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday. Former offensive lineman for the University of Memphis and an all-around ball knower, as I like to say. Gabe, what's happening, brother? You're a Cardinals fan.
Yeah,
so
I'm a Cardinals
excited
fan.
about Ryan?
I'm hyped up. Cardinals need some stars.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. Brendan Donovan being the only all-star can't hold, so hopefully Ryan is next in line. Lefty hitter, clearly an athletic defender if he's playing center field or shortstop. So I have high hope.
Yeah, the combination of infield, outfield, I was surprised to hear that. I was like, not a lot of folks do that. My stepbrother, Ty Pete, he got drafted in 2023 to the Mariners system, was playing third base and plays outfield. And so I was kind of used to that, but it's like you got to be uber athletic to be able to make it happen on infield and outfield.
100%. And by the way, thank you for giving me the nod of having near as much swag as Ryan. That makes me feel very good about myself.
We're going to get you the big chain, like Ryan.
Okay, all right, yeah. I can dig that. I like it. I like Cuban link. Let's go with
Cuban link?
I think I'll pull that off better.
For cool.
Big body.
Yeah. Well, big Cuban links. Let's talk about the big idea for today's show because we're also talking about Memphis athletics. And the NCAA jointly announced with Memphis Athletics the penalties for violations that date back to the 2023-24 basketball season. NCAA says that an academic advisor coordinated for 2 softball players to be paid to help basketball players cheat on tests, quizzes, and complete coursework for them. really just one basketball player. The allegations name academic advisor Leslie Brooks, who the Tigers fired. They don't name the athletes in the report, but we know it to be Malcolm Dandridge, who you see on your screen there. He was held out of competition toward the end of the season for potential issues impacting his eligibility, which we now know he was getting people to take tests for him. Didn't play the rest of the season. Here is a list of the punishments to the athletic department. They were already on probation that will now be extended by 2 years to 2027. They get a $30,000 fine plus 1% of the combined budgets of the men's basketball and softball programs. They got to vacate wins from January 25th to February 18th. That's 3 wins to be precise. And Leslie Brooks, the academic advisor named in the report, will have a 10-year show cause order. Gabe, we all generally knew that this was kind of looming in the background. You kind of almost forgot about it,
right?
Quite honestly. But now we've got the details of what happened. What do you make of all of this? What do you think about Malcolm getting folks to cheat for him?
I don't get it. Listen, I was a graduate student who had to go to classes for a semester just to stay eligible to play football. You don't take hard classes. And from what I understand in the report, it was like an intro to theater course or something like that.
That was one. That was one course, intro to theater.
My first reaction to this whole thing, once I ultimately saw the details, it's like, this was the most avoidable thing in the world. Mm-hmm. You're taking easy courses. Just show up to class and figure it out from there. And even if you don't show up to class, or it's maybe online, you should be okay. And then on top of that, like the amount of money that was spent on these answers is $550 all said and done. That's not much. And for an academic advisor to facilitate these things because she quote unquote sort of felt bad for Malcolm. Well, it's your job to help him actually pass these classes, not to help him cheat through. So I just hate how avoidable it was. But I think it's a very good look into what was happening in the program and maybe the lack of control that Penny Hardaway had before Tim Duncan came in and before Dr. Ed Scott came in. It feels like they've gotten a hold on all these things. Yeah,
I certainly would agree with that because from everything we've gotten from Dr. Ed Scott, he's been very front-facing with all of this kind of stuff, from the the violations rather, the stuff with the Pac-12 and how they've been navigating some of that, the money they've been getting from Fred Smith and all those kind of things with the renovations of the stadium. So we've gotten a lot of really, I would say, straight answers, it feels like, from Dr. Ed Scott for the most part. But yeah, I think this is a clear glimpse into just a lot of the wild, wild west that was that 23-24 season. And, to your point, we can't put this all on Malcolm, right? Certainly he is the guy that we know is benefiting from this, but you also have 2 softball players who were involved in this. And I think what was funny was like the softball team didn't have to vacate any wins because they didn't win any games over that period of time. But we're laughing about it, and that's kind of what it feels like the nation does when you see something like this, right? Everybody's kind of chuckling at, there goes Memphis again, and there goes that basketball program again. And there's been so much positive progress that has been made by Penny Hardaway, especially the last couple of years. You win, an AAC championship, you go to the big dance again, and then this rears its head once again. And to Penny's credit, he is not named in this, right? They don't show that he did any wrongdoing, but at the end of the day, you're the head of the snake, your monkey, your circus.
Yes, for sure. But obviously, him not being named is a big thing here. He clearly didn't have a huge hold over what was going on with the academic counselors and everything like that. I can tell you from experience, coaches usually take their hands off that for the most part until a problem arises.
Right.
And, you hope things like this don't continue to perpetuate going in the future, but that's why I bring up Ed Scott and Tim Duncan, because it feels like that was Ed Scott's sort of first order business with that program. It's like we had there's so much, this underlying dysfunction, this underlying misunderstanding of what's going on in your program, things that you have to have control over. It feels like Ed Scott and Tim Duncan have come in and helped facilitate Penny Hardaway getting a hold of those things. And you see it in small ways. Penny not putting up with a bunch of BS going in, the past couple of years when it comes to NIL money. It was it Tyreek Smith last year asked for more NIL money.
He was like, all right,
he's like, all right, hit the road, fine. I don't care. So, as much as this is bothersome to hear it, and really an offseason that's already been tough. You lose P.J. Haggerty, you don't have a single bit of continuity on this team going into next year. You have a lot of questions about how this is going to look, and now you have this on top of it. It feels really bad, but I still have this bit of positivity sort of in me.
Yeah.
In regards to what I saw last year and the growth I've seen from Penny Hardaway in this program.
What do you think about the actual penalties that got brought down? $30,000 fine, which is, I would call it annoying more than anything else. Your probation gets extended, but they don't get any like postseason bans or anything like that. Penny Hardaway doesn't have to miss any games. What do you think about what actually was like laid down from them? And do you think, them what's the word I'm looking for? Participating with the NCAA, complying with the NCAA in doing a lot of this? Do you think that helped?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot is to self-report. And again, shout out to Ed Scott, shout out to Tim Duncan for doing that. But these penalties are nothing. I mean, in the world of NCAA violations and penalties, this is a slap on the wrist. And 30% or $30,000 is maybe one trip to an away, and hotel. Again, it is what it is. And then 1% of the combined budget of softball and basketball isn't that much. Now, I will say this, for basketball, considering the challenges we're seeing with the House settlement and
every little
pouring more money into football, I think every little bit counts, but 1%, you're not really going to feel that all that much, especially when it's softball's budget as well. And then the show costs, they're not going to feel that at all. They already fired Leslie, so it is what it is. But, it's just annoying. I think that's the good word for it. Just getting these more penalties on top of this, more annoying. You were already on probation. You have 2 more years. Here we go. Hopefully you can avoid things until then.
Quickly before we switch gears, you were a student athlete.
Sure.
You've had to go to class and balance books and everything, balance books, balance football, all that kind of stuff. What is that process like of working with an academic advisor? I'm sure you were a genius in class, right? So, you didn't have anybody cheating for you, but what is that temptation like as an athlete?
Well, I never really had that full-on temptation. I'm not going to say any names or anything, but there's guys that like to cut the corner every once in a while, and they'll find a way to cut the corner. Usually, I can say from experience, it's not the academic advisor facilitating those things. Now, I've heard of examples of that happening elsewhere in the country, but when I was playing football at the University of Memphis, that never happened. But listen, guys cut corners all the time. They don't want to show up to class. They didn't come to school to play school. They didn't come to the University of Memphis to play school. They're here to play.
Cardell Jones tweet, right?
They're here to play football or basketball or whatever sport there is. So there's always going to be guys cutting corners. But, usually it's done, and this is going to sound wrong, I don't advocate for cheating in class, but usually it's done a lot cleaner and more under the table than this. This was way too out there, super avoidable, and pretty egregious in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, the thing that really stood out to me about a lot of this, is that an academic advisor was facilitating it. I thought that was ludicrous.
Yeah.
Just like really, really strange. Secondly, that the softball players, if you read the report, it kind of talks about them saying, we felt kind of weird about it, but we did it. And then it kind of was like, well, now I'm not getting paid enough to be doing this. Right. So we're going to pull out.
One of the girls said $150.
Yeah.
What do I look like?
I felt like the monetary number that was involved all of it was weird to me. All of it was really, really weird. Let's switch gears. The Memphis Grizzlies, they play their last game of Summer League tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. That tips off at 5 p.m. Central Time. Gabe, you've been able to watch a few of these games. I know you were out there on the West Coast. You weren't in Vegas. You were in San Diego. But what have you thought about what you've seen from the Grizzlies Summer League team? What's been your biggest impression?
No, it's great. Even though I was in San Diego, I got to watch every single Summer League game.
Shout out to that Grind City Media app, right?
Well, there was NBA TV.
Yeah, we love that.
on the family TVs with DirecTV, so that was great. But I have liked the strides from the second-year players. Looking at Cam Spencer, he's a guy who can play like a psychopath on both ends of the floor, but somehow
got that four-year contract. He was ready to roll.
But somehow, while he plays with all this passion, and sometimes that can bubble over, he still plays within himself on the offensive end and knocks down his threes. He's one of those guys. You just sort of see in the NBA where when he puts up a three, you feel like it's going in. So I've loved to see his strides. G.G. Jackson, you see the bucket getting. He's starting to, get some assists.
He's starting to whip that thing, you know what I'm saying?
Getting some teammates involved.
Little Magic Johnson, woo!
Yeah. We like to see it. He's getting his teammates involved a little bit more. Still want to see more on the defensive end. Jalen Wells, great. Those three guys, in my opinion, are the guys that look better than Summer League. But then, you start digging a little bit deeper, and you look at one guy that really has jumped off the page for me. The rookie class, Jemai Mashak. He's the guy.
Incredible.
And to this point, what he said when he got drafted, that, at Tennessee, I didn't really have the opportunity to show my three-point ability or my offensive ability. That's actually holding true through a couple games in Vegas Summer League. His most recent performance, 16 points, 2 for 3 from 3, plays unbelievable defense. And I think what really stood out to me is that first game he played in Summer League.
Yeah.
He didn't really play good offense. I get all that. But like when I hear perimeter defender, best perimeter defender in college basketball, I want to see you be a complete psychopath.
Be a dog.
Be insane out there. And 10 fouls later, I'm like, he passed the test. Absolutely. You are doing exactly what I expect you to do. But he's going to be a fun guy to watch and see how he progresses.
Yeah, I am really excited to see how much he can bring along his offense, because we talk about guys, especially on that OKC Thunder team, they can shoot the three ball, at a steady clip, a good rate, and they can play phenomenal defense. And he clearly already has one side of that equation figured out. He plays great defense. He had 4 steals in that last game on top of his 15, 16 points, on top of shooting 2 of 3 from 3. He shot 3 of 4 from 3. I think it was the second game of Summer League, or the first game that he played. And so I am excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. I am kind of disappointed we didn't see more Javon Small. He's dealing with a groin injury. And these guys are competing for two-way spots, right? Trying to get on that two-way roster. And when you don't get a chance to show what you're made of in those Summer League games, that puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit if you're a Javon Small. And so I'm sure he'll have plenty of opportunities to kind of prove himself moving forward in the G League with the hustle and all those kinds of stuff. But Jemai Mashak made a very loud statement, I think, in Summer League about what he potentially could be for this Grizzlies squad. And I mean, we talk about the Grizzlies being a team that finds their diamonds in the rough in that second round, because they're not getting free agents and all that kind of stuff. You got to hit, and it looked like they might have hit one.
Yeah, and Zach Kleiman clearly understands how to get these things done. Cam Spencer, 4-year, $10.5 million. There's 4 contracts like that. Scottie Pippen Jr. has already shown through to be a rotation guy that you can trust. Then you have G.G. Jackson, Vince Williams, and Cam Spencer. We'll see how that works out. Can I give you one example of the other way, though, a negative?
Give me a negative.
He was on a 2-way, or maybe he's still on a 2-way, but the Zion pulling experience. Like,
it's been spotty. It's been spotty for sure.
I don't like hating on anyone or, doing anything like that. But it's been pretty rough for Zion, and maybe that has to do with the injury he sustained last year. Never really got a full year of work. It's been pretty rough for him. Yeah,
underwhelming for sure. Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Hawks in Vegas for the final time of Summer League, and we'll have to see how we feel about them after that last game before we move into the rest of the offseason. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll get into SEC Media Days, and I'll see you on the other side of the break.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain. Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
It's how big that storm system was.
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on 24+. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24+. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24+. Download free on your TV now.
Morant and Kool-Aid announced a collaboration on his Ja 2s, the Ja 2 Kool-Aid colorway, also known as the Mixed Berries colorway. Morant gifted pairs of that colorway to the Jet Academy at the Nike EYBL AAU tournament at the Memphis Sports and Events Center this weekend. But they are not the only ones. Drew Hill was also gifted a pair of Ja 2 Mixed Berries.
This is by far the best promotional item that has ever been sent.
Go ahead and bring them out. Let's bring them out. Let's see what we.
So first of all, in the top, we gotta appreciate the oh yeah.
Oh
here.
yeah.
And I also want to say to Kool-Aid, by the way, I hadn't drank Kool-Aid in like 15 years. After these showed up, I went. They put some packets in here.
Packs? Yeah,
I went and made Kool-Aid, and it was just as delicious as it was when I was younger.
You obviously are a Melrose alum yourself. What would you say about the talent from the track side of things that can come out of Memphis? We talk so much about the basketball talent that comes out of this town, but from a track perspective, what do you see as you do this year after year?
Actually, we have 2 gold medalists out of Melrose. My teammate Sheila Eccles was the one that gave Flojo the baton in 1988. We were teammates at Melrose. And then Kennedy McKinley is a boxer. So to be able to have 3 Olympic gold medalists, we all walked the halls at the same time, along with a now NBA champion and a couple of Super Bowl champions. And so we're like, hey, we're the home of the champions for real. You know, we produce stars. And you know, it's just.
SEC Media Days this week, and it looks like the Rebels are reloading, not rebuilding. Ole Miss is eyeing another big leap this season, but they'll have to do it without Jackson Dart, who's now wearing Giants blue in New York. The reins fall to third-year quarterback Austin Simmons, who some may remember for his heroics in the Rebels' upset win against Georgia. Lane Kiffin knows the pressure is on for the young gun, but his biggest piece of advice is to be Austin and not try to be Jackson.
And that he has to be himself and, you know, not worry about that. But I think with that, whenever you follow somebody that's had a lot of success, most wins in the history of the school, most yards, most touchdowns, basically everything, that puts a lot of pressure on you. But we have to help him with that. We got to coach and play really well around him is the biggest part of helping him with that.
Another team that will be welcoming a new quarterback in the SEC will be Tennessee. A lot of questions for the Vols after the departure of Nico Iamaleava, who took off in a nasty divorce to UCLA. Heupel handling all the questions about who'll be QB1 next year. It's likely going to be Appalachian State transfer Joey Aguilar, but Heupel says it will be a true QB competition.
We will have a competition at the quarterback position, 3 guys inside of that room. But I'm really proud of the steps that they've taken through the summer in developing relationships, rapport with the guys around them, their ability to compete in a positive way with each other in the meeting room and on the field.
Change could be on the horizon for Tigers basketball. Assistant coach Nolan Smith is reportedly leaving the program to take his own head coaching gig. According to college basketball insider John Rothstein, Smith is taking a job to be head coach at Tennessee State. That's the Nashville HBCU. Smith spent 1 year with the Tigers, coming over from Louisville. The former Duke All-American would be filling the space left by Brian Collins, who is joining the Memphis Grizzlies staff as an assistant. Rothstein reports that nothing is official, but that the 2 sides are working towards an agreement. Back on the Grizzlies front, forward Santi Aldama is joining the NBA Players Association's board of directors. In this role, he'll help support philanthropic efforts and the NBPA's global programs. He'll help approve grant funding and support social impact work around the world. And we got to show love to the hometown kid, ECS alum Brent Rooker, who showed out at MLB All-Star Weekend. He's called the Rook, but he ain't a rookie. Hit a home run to help the American League close the gap and eventually tie the game to force extra innings in the All-Star game. But instead of extra innings, we go to a swing-off, and Rooker hits 2 home runs, but the AL fall 4-2-3. ECS Eagles, y'all stand up, man. Well, we're going to put a bow on the show after the break with the best thing I saw this week, and that's from All-Star Weekend, a tribute to Hammering Hank.
On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain. Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
They came to see him pass the bail.
Best thing I saw this week goes to the MLB All-Star Game. The festivities held in Atlanta this year, the home of the Braves, and the All-Star Game paid a beautiful tribute to the franchise's most important player, and that was one Hank Aaron. Broke Babe Ruth's home run record at 715 career bombs, ended up with 755 total, and they showed him major love with a light show, recreating that very cool, iconic moment. Aaron was more than just the home run king. He was an iconic figure in Atlanta sports lore, known just as much for his activism in fighting for civil rights and equality as his bat swing. It was cool to see MLB honor him in that way, on top of the All-Stars wearing his jersey number in warm-ups and a scholarship named in his honor earlier this year. Rest in peace to the home run king. That's all I got for you on the show today. Thanks to Gabe Kuhn and Ryan Mitchell for joining the show, and thanks to Leanna Davis and Richard Denson for making it go behind the scenes. We're back on Monday. I'll see you later.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.